What's going on, guys? Your boy XQ420. Welcome y'all back. Another episode Beyond the Cube. As always, the powerful one is
Oh, this
with
ain't
us.
Showtime with the Cube? I thought it was Showtime with the Cube, and
Not
I
quite.
watched The Lord of the
Not quite.
Rings. Oh,
Yeah, I did.
shit.
I actually do need to finish
Yeah,
watching
thank
that.
God
I've
I didn't
been
either. I'm
dread.
just fucking with you.
I've been dreading it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, man, I need to, because I know people are like, man, they did a mid-season review and then they just was like, ah, you know what I'm
That's a
saying? They let
first.
go of the rope.
It's a first. But shit has been really bad. I mean, shit's been really bad. And honestly, I watched Nosferatu, and it fucking is 6 out of 10. You know, like I was expecting, like you can only do Dracula so many times over. You know what I mean? Like, so masterful movie, but we didn't need it. You know what I mean? So like, even the good stuff isn't good anymore, right? It's like I I think that we're going to end up like in a media landscape similar to how
Huh?
Cuba is with cars. So
Okay. Okay.
they ain't got a new car since like 1962. All right. Every goddamn car in Cuba, they just keep fixing up and fixing up. They've made an art of making cars reliable over time because they have no choice because of our stupid embargoes, which I hope Trump ends. But that's how it is with movies. Everything sucks, and like the thing I'm most excited about right now is going back and watching the like 90s version of the Fantastic Four. That's what I'm going to do at some point,
Oh,
either today or tomorrow. I'm going to watch it again because I haven't seen it in 20
oh,
years.
you said the '90s version.
Oh, not that 90s version. I know what I know what you're thinking, but not that early version, because there was a Fantastic Four that most people don't know about that came out in the 90s. That was total dog shit. And then after that, they made the one with, Hottie McHotterson, what's her face, Jessica Alba.
Are you talking about Jessica Alba?
Yeah. So
Yeah, she was decent.
where's she been at lately?
She just did a movie right here recently. Trigger Warning. It's on Netflix.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Trigger
yeah,
warning.
it's on Netflix. So we know what the deal is there, though. Okay, and when you're a female, in that particular industry, once you reach a certain age, okay, they pretty much toss you out. I know what people say. Oh, they retired or they had kids. No, 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 no. They retire you. All right. They're like, all right. So,
But the weird thing is, like, you'll see,
you
like, I'll go and I'll remember a show that I watched in like the 80s or 90s, and I'll be like, what happened to that bitch, right? And I'll go and look up somebody randomly, and like they'll have a whole career you never heard of, right? Or we're doing all kinds of movies you never heard of, right? So there's people out there who've been around who managed to stay in the game. Um, I
they
don't
might do some voice acting.
no, you know who's an anomaly? Willem Dafoe. That guy's been around for 50 years. Okay, played
Right.
some of the craziest roles, great roles though, and I don't know. You don't hear about him being on none of these Epstein lists and shit. You know what I mean? There's some guys, Sam Jackson, I don't think he's on an Epstein list, right? There's some guys who make it. How do some people
Mm,
manage to navigate through Hollywood for that long and be successful, and other people don't? And how do some people get brought into the weird, freaky sex shit, and other people don't? I don't understand that. I'd like to understand that about Hollywood.
yeah, I'm not sure about that. Um, but you gotta think. So the last like big thing that this guy was in was like Sin City. That was the last kind of, and I won't say it was a major role because it was all over the place. You know, they kind of jumped from story to story
Yeah,
in that black and white movie.
that was an
So
interesting. That was an interesting visual effect. You know, we don't get movies like that very often.
yeah, it was a little over the top. There's no doubt about it. But but yeah, I mean, man, it's just kind of what happens. You know, it's unfortunate. It's like Cameron Diaz. She just recently made the movie with Jamie Foxx that went direct to Netflix. I think it says her first movie in 10 years, and it's just, she was like, well, I retired for a while. Now I'm back. I'm like, nobody wants you back. For me, I don't know if you remember this, but Cameron Diaz, when she was at her absolute pinnacle, okay, was in The Mask. She was thick back then. The Mask. I know you remember that one.
Um, yes, I remember The Mask.
Woo!
A good friend of a good friend of mine, a guy I knew when I was growing up in my early 20s, wrote the son of The Mask. Actually, wrote the second one. So pretty
Hey,
interesting. Yeah, my friend Rob McKittrick, he wrote that. He wrote Waiting. He wrote Tag. What else did he do?
oh man.
He did one or two other ones. Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's some big gigs right there. That's some big gigs. There ain't no doubt about that. Okay, I'm feeling that. Well, seeing how you said
He's
Fantastic
not in
Four, Corey.
the sex swinger party club either.
Oh, oh, okay. Do we always got to
I think
got
once
to
you get into
preface it with
Hollywood, you
that?
got to go like kill some babies or suck some dicks or something. I don't know. Like there's some weird
It's
shit
just
going
like
on there to get in the
it's just
club.
like okay. It's like okay, guys, I'm letting you know. All right, I wrote movies for Hollywood, but I did not fornicate with children. Okay.
Like look at these people like Doja. I put the music and the film industry in the same category. It's the same shit. Okay, they're recording shit on a medium. So basically, look at like Doja Cat and look at fucking the gay British dude Sam, whatever the fuck his name is. Like they gone full on deep end satanic shit, right? So it seems to me they've been pulled into that end, and it seems like some people you can tell have been pulled into that end of things. You know, Diddy pulled into that end of things for sure.
Yeah, Doja got that fat rear though. Ain't no doubt about that.
Never in the history of the world have we had so many people who are famous who like suck and have no talent. I'm sorry, but the entire fucking hip hop industry today is
What?
garbage. Like, just compare,
Well,
like, go listen to like some old interviews with KRS-One and what he thinks of new rap, and that was like 10 years ago. Like, it's fucking.
what about Kendrick Lamar?
I don't give a
So
fuck about none of these
Kendrick
people.
Lamar is
So I had never heard any Kanye ever. So I'm like, fuck it, let me go listen to see what some Kanye is. Because I remember at the years ago, people were saying Kanye was like the best rapper of all time, and I was like, what are you talking about?
right, a lyrical genius. That's what they call him.
Right, right. So finally, like last week, I went and listened to some Kanye for the first time ever because I don't associate him with music at all,
Okay.
and it
I'm
was
assuming
okay. It was
you
okay.
went from heyday, so you went from what we say 05 to probably 2012, 2013. That would be his prime.
Okay, so let me tell you my history with music and my familiarity with hip hop and that scene. I
Okay.
worked for a music store from like '99 to like 2003, Camelot Music and FYE, right when they turned. And so I was there selling all the Lil Wayne. I remember Lil Wayne. I remember every rap album came out, had like the big gold and diamond lettering and like some dude with a big
Oh
grill
yeah.
on the
Mhm.
front. This is all like late '90s, early 2000s. And then I got out of working at the music store. And then a couple years later, all of a sudden, Kanye West is the biggest of all time. I'm like, what are you talking about? This doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, best rapper ever. That's I mean some people are I mean they jump right on that bandwagon. There's a lot of folks that actually say that actually. But he would be during my prime years, during my what I like to call my career. That would be the what was happening at the club at that time. So Kanye made a bunch of hits. He made a lot of money, and now he's crazy. So I,
It's the
I'm
Jews.
a
They made
hundred
him
percent
crazy.
I'm 100% positive after he went on the Jew rant that he got abducted and they did something to him at that con not the condo at that resort in Utah that's in the middle of nowhere in the rocks. I think that's some type of facility where they do shit. That looked like the damn shit from that movie Old. That's what it looked like. Looked just like it. I'm like, okay, that's where they got him. And then they made the Bianca girl. I'm pretty sure the Bianca girl's AI. I think she's a bot. I don't think
Bro,
she's real.
she got a dead
I don't think she's
stare.
real. Like the way she moves, like she reminds me of Ex Machina, Subservience, Mega Five. It reminds me just of that. I'm like, she is a bot, man. This is not real. I know. Go there,
I feel like
pull on her skin.
when they go out in public, it's performance. To them, it's performance art every time they go out in public. They know paparazzi gonna be following them everywhere. And so they got to make a statement. It seems like that's the thing. They're intentionally outlandish.
I mean, what's the statement? Look at this ass crack. Is that the statement? Look at these titties. Is
I
the
don't know.
statement watch me get filleted on this boat broad day
See,
in
here's the
Italy?
thing. Here's the thing. Like, this is what I'm thinking and I'm hoping will happen. It's not gonna, but it would be very, nice to think so. We've gone through this era where we're definitely entering a new age. I mean, motherfucking Trump, dude. I'm not even I've never been a Trump guy ever, and I'm looking at what he's doing and some of the things that come out his mouth, and I'm like, what did that motherfucker say? And so, I think we're coming to an end of this overt sexuality society. I think that there is going to be a major pullback and shift to conservatism and I'd like to see that. I'd like to see motherfuckers go out in public. You got to wear a nice hat and stuff. You know what I'm saying? like the old
Oh,
days.
okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Okay. Oh, you mean
I'd
like a
like
top hat?
I'm not a top hat, but like a in 1935, if you left the
Hmm.
house without a hat, you were fucking like shunned. Like people wanted to give you one and stuff. Like bring back those days. Bring back that every time you leave the house, you want to look presentable. You know, and I say that
Okay.
as I leave the house in my pajamas all the time. You know what I mean? But like, I'm not the one that set the example, but I can see the society that I think I can see us boomeranging back to because everything that is old is new again. You know,
Hold on. Do you think we go out in a hat looking like this? Is this the type of hat you talking about?
I'm at a loss for
Is that what
words.
you? Oh, oh, Jaden Smith.
That's some dumb shit right there.
You think you go out looking like that, like
Okay.
Goofy?
Um,
Like,
honestly, like I really, really want to have a lot of money. I want to be rich. I want to like dive into a swimming pool of gold coins like Scrooge McDuck, right? But I am so fucking glad I didn't was never born into that because people who were born into money are the most fucked up people ever. Like to go through life with nothing, with no reason to go through life is fucking unbelievable. I can't imagine it. You and me,
yeah, yeah. This was
we got to do something to pay the bills, and like, and
yeah,
so like without that drive, you see that drive leads to people wanting to do bigger things, and then sometimes that drive to do bigger things to make more money turns into a passionate career. Like I
this is true.
literally woke up one day, and said I'm going to be a Kennedy researcher. You know what I mean? Like it was like boom out of fucking nowhere, right? And it didn't pay me any goddamn money for 5 fucking years. You know what I mean? And I didn't really intend it to, but it turned into something real. When you have money
Right,
and no incentive, you don't really have a drive to do shit unless something just comes across your fancy that, you just need to understand or know or do, right? And it's very rare. Very rare.
right. Well, look. Here's what's key is that he got this hat on the cheap. It didn't cost but like $4,600. So
What?
that was it.
$4,600? Oh my god.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. For this, yeah. This is the original creator of it.
it
She
looks
called it
better
the
on the
Vampire
creator.
Castle.
It looks like it don't fit
Yeah.
him.
Well, I think it's stylistically probably better up here. It's just you know, because of the changing color, going all the way to black and white. He just looks goofy. Okay, I mean that's just it. So, um, and they said that he's in some more films. I thought that he just did that terrible After Earth film, and then you know that was going to be it. The one he did with his dad, the After
Mm-hmm.
Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
That wasn't a horrible movie, if I remember.
it
Yeah.
was, you know, yeah, but he didn't have much chops, okay, as far as acting, so there's some people that's got it and there's some people that don't.
Okay, now that we're
And
talking about celebrity children, we have to talk about something that I discovered today that fucking absolutely blew me away. Ti, the rapper dude, or whatever he does, or sings like a girl, or you know who I'm talking about. He has a son who plays country music, and he's fucking awesome. He's goddamn. He's like a blues artist. I listened to him today. I was absolutely
is
blown away. His name is like something red. I forget what it is. Something red. He's got a song
here's
called
the real question.
1958.
Here's the real question, Corey. Is he as good as Beyonce at country music?
Bro, bro, we can't play it on the because of the copyright stuff, but you should fucking pull it up on YouTube and fucking listen to this goddamn kid. I swear to God, it's some of the most original shit I've heard in I don't know how long. It's like bringing back the old times. It's like bringing back the old time rock and roll. And his song is called 1958, and he's basically singing about how I'm born in the wrong era and I wish I could meet you in 1958. I mean, it's just I was sitting here just in awe, and because most of the time rappers want to be like their dad and fucking put out a rap album. And this kid's like, fuck that. I'm gonna go country. Amazing stuff. You should really check it out.
Yeah, but is he on the level of Beyonce? Because Beyonce won Country Album of the Year.
Bro, she can blow me. She's a fake. She's a fraud. She just
She's
doesn't write her
Country
own
Album of the
music.
Year.
Um,
Yeah.
I liked her better when she was black.
Yeah, she's high yellow now.
She got vitiligo. What's the deal?
Yeah, I don't know. She's really high yellow. Like I seen her and I was like, she got blonde hair and all, or some type of whitish hair. I was like, is this Beyonce or is this somebody else?
And does
Like,
she have a CIA body double? Is the question.
ooh, there's high potential. There's high potential. But yeah, she's a country album of the year last year. She won that Grammy award. She won it. She
Yeah.
was shocked as well as everybody else. Look, Shabuzi. Now, if they want to just
Do you
give it
think
to
that was a
somebody black,
do you think that was a good album as far as other country albums? Okay, here's the deal. Um,
he said,
I'm
I
a
don't know. I don't
here's
know.
the, I'm a white guy, and I grew up
Uh-huh.
in Florida and around a bunch of white people who listen to country music, and I actually went to a couple country concerts. I understand that mindset. I don't see them buying into Beyonce.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. I didn't know, and I've got a couple of I got a couple of TikToks that I'm gonna put out,
So
and
there's only
one
been a
of them is
couple.
asking the people out there who listen to country, you know, was Beyonce's album, you know, country album of the year? I mean, was it legit, or do we think there was some other people who might have had a stake
Well, here's the
or
weird
had a
thing.
claim to that
All
particular?
in all history, and this is from my from knowing music pretty well.
Mhm.
Name me two other black country artists who've made it big. One of them's the
It would
pioneer. One of
be
them's the pioneer. You have to know.
the Darius Rucker.
That's one. Yep, that's one. And the other,
Don't know the other one.
Charlie Pride.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
He's
golly,
old
but
school.
he's
He's like in the
old
70s, yeah.
old school. Yeah,
But
he's
here's the thing,
old school.
their music was accepted in the country world, believe it or not,
Right.
which is weird because they typically don't like black people, and like they wouldn't feel that black people could represent them or sing their music. Like these motherfuckers sing about getting off work and my girl ain't home yet, and I don't know what I did wrong, and
Yeah,
they,
get
you
my
know,
Chevy truck and
right?
drink a fifth of liquor and damn
They
catch some
these guys with
catfish.
millions of dollars sing songs for people with 10 cents in their pocket, like literally, and they feel that's why country music is the number one music in America and always will be, because because we're just more white people than anybody, and a lot of them are broke, and that country music hits home with them, and they feel like they can relate to them, and it gives them hope in a fucking world of, like, that country music scene is legit as it gets for what those people are into, and for someone to come in who they would think is like a carpetbagger, someone coming in from the outside who's not really understanding what it means to be country. You know what I mean? Because I don't know
Right,
that
right.
Beyonce has
I mean,
never lived that country life.
yeah, I'm not a country guy overall, but there's a couple songs that are okay. What's that new one that's on the radio right now? The High Road. Man says
You
he's
know
taking the
something I
high
just
road.
thought of?
I'm right there with you on that.
I don't know
Well,
that song. I'll have to check it
sometimes.
out.
Yeah.
I don't get around because I don't drive around anymore, right? I used to, have to drive places. Now I
Right.
don't, so I don't ever listen to the fucking radio. It's like, oh yeah, there's still radio. I wonder, because the message of a lot of country music is America, pro America, stuff like that, right?
Uh-huh.
I wonder how much there's got to be a CIA connection to country music somewhere. I mean, there's got to be some money flowing into that. There's some U.S.
Nah, man,
aid going into
not in
country
country,
music.
man.
You don't
Leave
think?
country alone, okay?
You think
Nah,
they don't
country.
need
I mean, leave
CIA to
country
get
alone.
all the to get all the pro America
Nah,
stuff? They don't need it. It's baked
nah,
in.
they ain't even gotta have it. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
They love it just as it is. You know, a little bit of chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night, pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio up. I mean, you know, it's stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Cottonhead Road. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cottonhead. So I mean, it's stuff like that. But look, my only thing is that if they were trying to give it to a black person, you know what I'm saying, just to shake things up. Shabuzi, I believe, is technically country. This is a black guy. He made the song, a bar song, "Tipsy." I mean, it was on the Hot Country. Was it Hot Country Top 25? Whatever it is. It was number one for 27 weeks. So that's like a lot of weeks. So I was like, are you just telling me the rest of his album was trash? Or I was like, man, the Shabuzi guy, and I think he was a Billboard Top 100. I think he was there 19 weeks. I believe we spoke about that on the end of year review, Shabuzi. And so I was like, I mean, he's black and he did some country. I mean, we can't give him a
Well,
nod.
the
But we got
ironic thing
Beyonce though.
is, the ironic thing is, I think if you trace the roots of not only country but rock and roll, they have like a common ancestor. And I think that goes straight back to like the turn of the century Southern black gospel. Like
Okay,
some of
okay.
that stuff is goddamn good. Like the songwriting and the musicianship and some of that stuff. I mean, those guys weren't shredding solos like Eddie Van Halen, but they were songs that represented the people in the era and the suffering and the struggle of being black in the South in the early 1900s, and that inspired people. You know, that led to people like Muddy Waters, who inspired people like Elvis, right? And then the rest is history. And that was also where people like Hank Williams Sr. came from, right? Hank Williams Sr., David Allan
Okay,
Coe,
okay.
all these kind of guys. This all sprung from that Southern black gospel. So
The
pretty fascinating
Southern
stuff.
Black. Hey, well,
And it all sprang from
some of that
suffering. All that music was so good. The blues and that old gospel stuff was because it was the plight and it was real.
in the best music got some suffering involved in it.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you want some feel good stuff, but man, a good old suffering song. You know what I'm saying? My girl left me, my folks died, my dog got ran over. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I mean the good old suffering song. You know what I'm saying? My child I had to go bury my child. Was it one of my favorite doom metal bands, Swallow the Sun? Was it the Emerald Forest and the Blackbird? I mean that whole song is about his son being sick and him taking him to a place in the woods where he could die peacefully and burying him. I
Mm.
mean, and he said, and as he's dying, he says, "I was meant to stay, my loved one." I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "Yeah, that's what we want to hear." You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I don't know. I guess that deeper meaning, so it
Yeah.
resonates with you.
Just like just like my one of my favorite Cannibal Corpse songs, "Fucked with a Knife."
Oh man, what gets a bad rap is heavy metal music, and I would I would caution people because they're like, oh, it's just devil music. I'm like, no, look, I understand that you can't quite understand all the words unless you're sitting there looking at the lyrics, and then it's just like somebody's talking to you, like you're like, oh, I understand every word they're saying, but the majority of like the stuff they're talking about, like they got more serious topics.
Well,
Like it's not like pull your booty out and twerk it for me and
no.
let
So
me stick my thumb in your ass. You know what
the it's funny because I'm a death metal aficionado, believe it or not. I grew up in
I'm saying?
Sarasota, Florida, 50 miles south of Tampa, and when I
Okay,
started
okay.
hanging out with people around the age of 15 in like 90, um, that was when Tampa became the death metal capital of the world. So I was very fortunate to like hang out with bands who I never hung out with any of the big guys, but I hung out with this band called Burial, who was always booked all over with these big bands. And some of these guys would come hang out sometimes. So I got to meet a lot of people in these bands. And then in the later years, I've always, of course, watched every goddamn death metal documentary there is. And the thing with death metal that you have to understand is it's not really Satanism stuff. If you actually dissect the band, the individual bands, what you'll find is that it's more like Cannibal Corpse is it, and they're obsessed with horror, and it's basically the music version of horror movies. That's what
Hmm.
Cannibal Corpse is. And to me, I think it's fantastic because you might not realize that. And just like the Misfits back in the day, they were punk. Everyone considers the Misfits punk, and they were. They were like really the greatest punk band of all time. But their lyrics weren't punk. Their lyrics were purely about 1950s horror movies, all of them, right? And so it
Well, they
was like
they
a
kind of look like a horror movie too.
right. That was the whole point. That was the whole point. It had nothing to do with Fight the System or any of that stuff. But they're the greatest punk band ever.
Oh, oh, another band, Mudvayne. If you look how Mudvayne started, because they used to have their
Yeah, the
faces all
makeup. Yeah,
painted up. Was one of my favorite songs from them. I think it's their best song they ever made. Death Blooms. You watch the music video to that, like it's like a straight up like horror film, like with the way they look. Of course they moved away from that as they got later on in their career, with that particular look. But
I gotta say,
that's what kind of broke them out on the scene.
I have been to. That reminds me, I've been to. God, I've been to so many fucking. I've probably been to close to 1,000 shows in my life, and I've been to hundreds of metal shows. And I don't think I've ever been to a black metal show. The closest I ever came was I saw Behemoth, and they were They're pretty dark and they're from Norway, but they're not like or Poland or something. But they're not straight up with the blood and the fucking white from the black.
Hmm.
So, but the amazing thing is, like all the great black metal bands from the '90s and the early 2000s are still around. Mayhem, Dark
Yeah, yeah.
Throne, all these guys are
They
still
still
kicking it.
they still got to make music because they didn't never really like take off and make those
Right,
millions.
right,
Kind of like your Nickelback, Breaking Benjamin. You know what I'm saying? Your run of
yeah,
the mill. I would say more of your pop rock. That's what you could kind of call those things. Pop rock. What's the other one? Fuel. You know, bands
right.
like that. That was really good for mainstream radio stations and things of that nature. Like they could run with that. What's another one? Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam.
You
You
know,
know, those bands like that were able to make it.
I saw Alice in Chains actually in '91 on the Clash of the Titans tour with Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax. That's a band I'm really itching to see. They don't tour much anymore, but they do tour periodically and they do a lot of festivals. If Anthrax comes around here, I'm fucking going because I only saw them once in '91, and they're fucking
So
amazing.
we seen them during their prime then.
Yeah. Oh, I saw everybody in their prime. I saw all the great metal bands in their prime, except Metallica. I never wanted to see Metallica. I never gave a. So I really like their, the Injustice for All album, and I got into Metallica when I was about
Okay.
15. But like, I just never had the burning desire to see them. And that was one of the first bands I realized. Most bands put out 4 good albums, and everything else sucks after that. So, with the exception of Cannibal Corpse, I gotta be honest, Cannibal Corpse have 17 albums, and they're fucking amazing, like all of them, and they're different. This is crazy, but I just, most bands 4 albums and you're done. Oh, and Fish and Cannibal Corpse, I think the 2 greatest bands of all time.
Metallica right now, but if whenever they go on their next tour, I ain't gonna lie, them tickets gonna bust your ass.
Oh, they're
Okay,
coming here
them
and they're
niggas
playing
ain't
with
giving that shit away.
they're coming
They
here
ain't
and playing
giving
with
that shit away.
Suicidal Tendencies of all bands, and uh, yeah, interesting. Well, it's like 4 bands playing, I think, and tickets are like
Uh
250
huh.
or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, and that's probably you probably have to stand out there in the grass, don't you, for 250?
So I got 2 guaranteed shows coming up. I'm going to Napalm Death in May, and I'm going to Cannibal Corpse in April. But there's another band I've been just checking out lately called Uncle Acid and the Flu. I don't know what they're Uncle Acid and something, but they're like acidy, kind of like reverby, trippy metal. They're fucking pretty interesting too. There's a lot of good metal out lately. It's kind of weird in a time when all music sucks, except for Fish, really.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. A little Napalm Death. That's a one I haven't heard in a while.
Okay, so let me tell you my Napalm Death story. Um, I had heard about them, but I'd never heard their music. And I went and saw them, and I saw them I seen them like 6 times. But the first time I saw them was in like '92, and I didn't know what to expect. And they played with Sick of It All, Sepultura, and Sacred Reich. Sacred Reich is a killer old school band. But they came out, and before they even hit their first note, they had like 50 people on the stage. They let everybody go on the stage. And as soon as that first note hit, everybody just dove off the stage. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. Next to Fear, I saw the band Fear once, and that was the most violent show I've ever seen ever. Like a dozen people got taken out in ambulances and shit. But yeah, Napalm Death like blew me away. Like I was in awe. Like they fucking came out and like it was a wall of noise for like a half an hour, and I was like, holy shit! And I've been hooked ever since.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I mean, so you frequented all the bands pretty much.
I went to a lot more shows when I was growing up. I mean, that's what we did when I was like 15, when I was 15 to like 18 when I graduated high school. I went to like 200 shows before I even graduated high school.
Oh, dear God. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a ton. I really didn't start going to anything until what was it? Until I got in college. That's when I really started going. So it took me a little bit. It didn't start immediately. It didn't start immediately. So I haven't been to as many, but the bands that I got into, I managed to see all of them. Like I said, except Lamb of God. It's the only one I hadn't seen.
I saw
It's
Lamb
the
of
only one
God
that's left.
at a festival. I did so it was an indoor at an arena festival. It wasn't like an outdoor thing. And it was with Guar and like Darkest Hour and I want to say like Unearth and Amon Amarth. It was pretty fucking sick. back in like 20. God, it was before I left Florida, so it had to have been like 2012 ish, 2011 ish.
Mm-hmm.
So they've come to Denver a bunch of times. I never got around to going.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Fish just
Yeah.
announced West Coast tour. Like they're doing like 7 dates. Normally, in a normal year, I would up and go and do the whole run. It's only like 7 shows or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a very busy year for me. So, and I've seen Fish like 150 times.
There we go. There we go. We understand that. Now, Corey, earlier in the show, you said that you're going to watch the 1990s Fantastic Four, but there's no need to do that because we've got the new Fantastic Four coming out, and they've dropped us a little bit of a trailer here.
Yeah, people have been
Okay.
dogging it on X.
Oh, have they? Okay. Well, we're gonna take a look at it right here, and but people, if you got thoughts on this, leave it in the chat, and we'll discuss it. But we're gonna watch this right now.
Welcome to the Baxter Building.
We make a point to do family dinner every week. Sunday at 7 on the dot, no matter what. We're all here.
Herbie, how's that sauce coming? Yeah, I'll be the judge of that.
It's comic book accurate.
Okay. Okay, is this guy good or what? I want to add a couple cloves of garlic. Not because it's not delicious, I just want to add a little bit of zip, okay?
T-5.
Before we went up the first time, you couldn't turn invisible. Ben wasn't a rock.
The best pilot in the world right here.
Yeah. Best looking, he means.
And
What's
Johnny,
that blonde? They get Bonnie Blue for this thing?
Ben has always been a rock. Johnny is Johnny.
Hi.
And I am right here. Whatever life throws at us, we'll face it together. As a family.
There it is, Corey. I know you've seen something familiar up there,
Yo, ain't
right
that
there
the
near
chick
the
who
end.
slept with 1,000 dudes?
And
I'm sorry, blonde British chicks all look alike to me.
to say, ain't that Bonnie Blue? It's like, no, man. So you sure, man? Go back and revisit that footage. I'm pretty sure it's her. Hey, we be like, ma'am, can you bend over for me? Yeah, that's it. That's her. That was uncalled for, guys. It's my bad. But no, I know you've seen in there. Looks like a Galactus is in this.
Is he like 100 foot tall or something?
Yeah, it showed the back of his head. Galactus. Now, from
So,
what I'm understanding, some rumors are is that the the Fantastic Four is not in the Marvel universe, but they're gonna have to travel to the Marvel universe because Galactus eats their world. End of the world type
oh
stuff.
my God, I'm getting a weird twitch behind my eye.
Yeah, I mean that's the rumblings that some of the shit we see with Galactus popping them up, like they actually take a L and they have to travel to the actual Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is what we've been seeing over the past 15, 16 years,
Hmm.
allegedly. So we can continue this multiversal saga.
God damn it. God damn
Hey,
it.
and you know what the other
Them
rumors are?
continuing okay, them continuing this multiverse
Multiverse.
shit is like these fucking Democrats continuing the tranny shit, like in the Trump era. It's like, motherfucker, ain't you got the memo yet?
Yeah, the tranny, the DEI stuff. I mean, you ain't walked around you ain't walked around Costco yet and said no justice, no peace. Solidarity. You ain't walking in solidarity with the black brethren.
Yo, I can't
I know
really.
there's like 4 black people over there. You know what I'm saying?
Um, this man, I gotta say, this fucking Trump shit is like, I don't. We all died in 2020, and we just got out of purgatory. That's what's happening here, bro. It's the only
Well,
explanation.
we're gonna discuss that at the end of this show. That's actually the title of it. What do we think America will look like in 4 years? So
Like I said,
we'll
everyone's
see
gonna be
some of the
wearing
things
hats
you're doing
again.
right now.
Everyone's gonna be wearing hats at the angle like they did
Yes,
in the 20s.
is that they're gonna be wearing hats. If somebody disrespects you in the streets, then you're gonna have your damn glove. You slap them, and then you just damn duel to the death.
Bring back duels, my friend. How orderly would society be if we just dueled instead of just like had fights and riots and stuff?
He said, "I'm dueling to the death." You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, you would not act up because you're like, hey, I mean, niggas can pull a sword on me, and we just have to, get down. You know what I'm saying? It's
Bro,
like
that
I better
reminds
not
me. This week
disrespect
I
him.
stumbled across a couple different a couple different MMA promotions doing these like 15-man brawls. Have you seen this shit yet?
15 man?
Bro, imagine putting 15 UFC dudes in a fucking big ring and they all just beat each other up. This shit is wild, bro.
Wow, 15 man? That's
Yeah.
like, how do you referee that?
Let me see if I can find it.
Like, you can't referee that.
This one's older, but
That's
this is what it looked like. I'll share it. This is what it looked like. It's wild.
Let the games begin. I'm mad.
okay. They got multiple referees. Oh my god, dude.
Poland already got 3 of their combatants on the floor. Pelvis in this man's face. One man trying to keep his feet. Wait a minute. Look at this man's eye. He's already been lacerated. It's only been 6 seconds. You would think this would give him a disadvantage, but his teammate always got his back.
He just got socked
And
from
just when you thought
behind.
Russia would jump out in front, one of their combatants is taking a ground and pound on the right. To make matters worse, another one of their
This is
teammates
wild.
getting strangled
But yeah,
with a guillotine.
I
He'd
found
have
2
to
different
tap out. It's
promotions
gonna be
in the past week that had stuff going on YouTube. Pretty wild.
Man, what did I just see? Like that's bad. We need to stop this stuff, okay? I mean, the fighting stuff's got out of hand now. Everybody's got a promotion. Everybody's running stuff. I've seen the stuff now where it pops up. Folks be doing it in the backyard, and they got like tires surrounding them so they can't fall over and shit like that. I'm just like,
Bro, you think Trump will install some like Hunger Games shit? Like the Running Man. Remember the Running Man? Like, all the prisoners just have to
and
participate in these crazy competitions, or else.
they said they got to participate or else. They said, I just want you to remember that. They said either do it or else. I said that's the baseline. But back to the that Fantastic Four and the multiverse. There's some rumblings that they're gonna let old Majors potentially get his job back as King.
Come on, who ain't beat their girlfriend just once?
I think it's in some law that you can take them to the court into the steps of the court and whoop them with a certain length of a stick in
Well,
that some shit like that.
It can't be bigger than your thumb. It can't be thicker than your thumb. That's where the term rule of thumb comes from.
Okay, yeah. So that's the premise.
I say we have that
That's
back
what
within 4 years.
Well, folks out there just get go. We just see a whole slew of folks out there on the the steps of the court get whooped. It's
Like
like, what is
anarchy.
happening out here? It said, "Hey, bud, it said some shit changed and then it changed again." I'm talking about a drastic change. You're like, what the hell is going on? That would be pretty wild, right there. That would be pretty wild.
All
So,
the hot women get
yeah, but
sentenced to strip clubs. That's what Trump needs to implement.
his sentence. That's your sentencing. I don't know. Hey, I mean, they out there selling. You know what I'm saying? They out there, perusing around. Corey, Fantastic Four. I mean, does it look like it might have a little promise from that teaser trailer? You see a little promise there? You
It
said
took
comic book accurate.
well, yeah, the thing looked comic book accurate. The trailer took way too long to get going. I mean, I was bored in 5 seconds. I don't give a fuck about your cooking, okay? I want to see some origin story. All right, if this ain't got some
Mm.
origin story, if they're gonna pick up mid story, I don't want to see it. If this
It's gonna
better
be
be a
It's gonna
beginning.
be mid story. No, it's gonna be mid story. But they didn't show them. Look, man, they made that other Fantastic Four movie with Michael B. Jordan and all them fools, and
Oh, I
they
forgot
already
about
did that.
that. I forgot
Yeah,
about
that
that
went
one.
badly. That went
That
badly.
movie exists. That's got to be
Yeah,
like a Mandela effect thing. There's got to be a universe
yeah,
that movie doesn't exist.
yeah. Shit. It should be this one. I mean, I'm saying that movie. Man, I watched that movie and I was like, woo. I mean, we won't try it, were we? I mean, it's just like I said, I mean, I get it, but we let go of the rope, and I mean, I can see how this could happen. Because I think there are still some good writers out there. I just think that we got so many projects that you just can't find them. Okay, so it's like diamond in the rough. They may be doing more, maybe not big screen stuff, as much as they used to. Because we used to just have big screen stuff, and then you'd have your television shows, your primetime television shows, and then that was it. But now we got straight to streaming for everything. You got Netflix, you got Max, you got Hulu, you got damn Peacock, you got Tubi, you got I mean shit, you got everything, but you got Apple TV. Like damn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
it's like it's like it's like, man, have you seen this show? I'm like, well, which streaming service is it on? And no. I mean, I ain't got time to sit there and watch TV all day. But there's some people that do. I mean, and that's the people that do that shit for a living.
So one
That's it.
thing, I think I have something. I have something to talk about. Here we go. There's something else that's happening in society. We're definitely changing. We are evolving into this new creature, and I love every part of it so far. And one of the things that I need to share that is a sign of the times is the new Super Bowl ad from Carl's Jr. Have you seen this yet?
Was me and you have had the same thing? I had that saved. I was gonna
Oh,
show
you
that.
did? No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But here we go.
Yep.
Well, actually, I'll let you play it because um, your screen share seems to be more consistent than mine because I didn't have no sound on that last one. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me pull it up. Yeah, I had that. I was like, this harkens back to Corey's heart right here,
oh
bud.
my God, this chick's
It's
hot
a-
too. I was like, just
it's a-
thank God.
this is it. Because they used to do these. Carl Jr. and Hardy's used to do these ads all the time. This was like a staple. And let me get all this bourgeois stuff out of here. Let's see. All right, here we go. Let's close you out. And which is it's kind of super weird that they're showing the Super Bowl commercial before Super Bowl.
Well, they're getting people
But
excited about it. I mean, it's good that they're doing it this way.
all right, here we go.
Let's be real. Everyone's
Yeses in the first 3 seconds.
game. Been there, done that. And I've got just what you need to cure that post-party bug. The Carl's Jr. Hangover Burger. Egg, double bacon, yeah, you need that double bacon. Charbroiled beef, hash browns, cheese, and sauce. Just the way I like it. And guess what? It's free the day after the big game. You just have to download the Carl's Jr. app and sign up for my rewards. So get your free hangover burger on Monday, February 10th. He'll definitely need one.
There you go, right there. They used to do that all the time. That suggestive sexuality.
Oh God, it's life returning to normal. I mean, are we back through the looking glass? Are we back in Kansas,
Yeah,
Toto?
yeah, because they used to do the ones where I mean, the girls were straight up like washing the car and they smacking each other on the ass. I was like, damn, son, are we selling the cheeseburger or booty? I mean, we're trying to figure this thing out. So we're selling both. Now, that hamburger they got up there, that thing looked horrendous, man. I mean, what it had an egg on it, a old fold egg, carton fold egg, hash browns, barbecue sauce, it had onion rings, bacon. I'm like, there's just too much shit on that thing, man.
It
Man,
looked
it
pretty
looked like
good.
a burger you're gonna want to eat.
I'd eat it. I'd try it. I've only been to Carl's Jr. once, I think. Um, I'm gonna go out of my way to go to Carl's Jr. now and try that, just because I appreciate their advertising. See, sex and
Hey,
advertising
you're gonna
works.
have to. Hey, you're gonna have to download the app so you can get that thing free the next day.
I got money. I ain't gotta worry about that shit. Fuck.
Yeah,
I'll sign up for that. I'll get
the
next thing I know,
trial.
I'll be getting 2 emails from Carl's Jr. every day.
That's on the low end. What was it? Bed Bath and Beyond. They ain't even got no site, no brick and mortar store you can go to. I get 8 of them emails a day. Don't y'all want to buy shit from us? I'm like, I thought y'all were closed down. They like, no, man, we just ain't got no brick and mortar stores. You can still buy shit from us. I'm like, oh, I mean, y'all throwing me off on bankrupt. Who else going? Party City's going bankrupt too. What's
That's an
crazy is
interest.
that they hired.
Well, the
They
story
hired
about
that
Bed Bath and
CEO.
Beyond. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Tell your story.
Oh yeah, they hired that CEO to get him out the mud, paid him like $3 million, and like a year later, he's like, "Yeah, man, this shit ain't gonna work."
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all gonna have to shut it down. That's pretty much what he said. Oh. What were you saying?
I don't fucking remember.
Oh shit. All right, yeah. So yeah, all the party cities are shutting down.
Oh,
The
Bed
one
Bath
in
and
my
Beyond. Yeah.
area.
So Bed Bath and Beyond was bought up by a hostile takeover, like one of these fucking GameStop trader dudes. Like it was, the stock was at a point where he went and just bought it all. I think that's how that company got sold.
Is that what happened? Oh man, that's some good stuff.
That's wild.
Hey, look, I think if y'all got a party city in your area, I think shit's like 75% off. It's probably about all bought up by now.
What do they sell there? Like,
Party like napkins and plates and
oh shit, I get it at the grocery
balloons
store, you
and
mean?
like a pinata. Yeah, but it's got like colors and shit on it, man.
You know what business I wonder how the fuck to stay open? Hobby Lobby. That's one of them Christian fronts or something, because I don't know anybody going to buy beads enough to keep them in business.
Oh well, no, that it's a craft store.
Yeah, who the fuck's buying arts and crafts shit ever?
There's some people that would do it. Buy some crafty stuff.
You know what business shocked me? You know what business shocked me? I went and took my friend to see a friend of hers at an actual in-person toy store, which was amazing. But a couple doors down from the toy store was a very niche business. It was literally Irish like clog dancing. You know that Irish dancing with the little that shit they do.
Mm-hmm.
There was a business that just did taught that, and it was packed, bro. There was like 20 blonde girls in there clogging. I couldn't believe it.
Clogging. Were they hot?
Well, they were like 12.
Oh,
It
never
was like
mind
it
then.
was like a teenager thing. Yeah, there was a bunch of teenagers.
Oh, okay. It won't grown women.
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, I mean that's.
You pervert, creep.
I mean, hey, we got these places that's that's for the male gaze. Like your Hooters,
Mm-hmm.
Twin Peaks, which I haven't been in the Twin Peaks, but
Oh no, I never heard of a
it's
Twin
Hooters
Peaks, but I heard
heads.
of I've been to a Tilted Kilt. That was killer. They wore these little like plaid skirts.
Oh, okay. So that was on time on target.
Yeah, here's the deal. You throw some tits in it and you're going to sell whatever it is you're selling. I don't give a shit what it is. End of story. You can be selling the dumbest
Yeah,
shit and
men
you
will
got
be
some.
there.
There's a place down here. Well, there's one in Denver. I think there's one up here, but it's a coffee drive-through and all the chicks wear bikinis, even in the winter. I guess it must be warm in there or something, right? But you got to line down the block just to go to get your cup of coffee there. You know what I mean? So I'm sure the coffee ain't better than anybody else.
Well, what was it? John Taffer on Bar Rescue. Anytime he goes in the bar, like one of the things he says, he's like, we've got to be able to market to women so the men will be here. If you can get the women in the door, the men will follow. That's just it. And it's true.
Other than having some Chippendales fucking Magic Mike dudes, how do you just market to women? Like, what does that even mean?
No, 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 no. All of us marketing to women. Like women are the majority of as far as consumerism. You know what I'm saying? And so here's the premise is that you want women in the bar because then men want to show up to try to hit on the women. That's the whole premise. If you go to a bar and it ain't nothing but a bunch of dudes, then usually women don't want to be there. Like you rarely see just one girl with like 12 dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't work. Usually if there's more females there, men will show up, but the females feel, you know, like they might not get hit over the back of the head, drug in the back. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I bet you there's some slick player motherfuckers out there who go and pick up chicks at gay bars. Because chicks will go hang out with their gay friends at the gay bars. And so there's not many straight guys in there. So I guarantee you there's some slick motherfuckers weaseling their way in there through that back door, euphemistically
Yeah,
speaking.
but that's too dangerous, man.
It's dangerous, probably rewarding. It's probably a couple women in there who are grateful for a good straight man to be in there.
Yeah, I remember my buddies years ago, uh to the women they were dating at that time. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go to the gay bar," and it's just like, "And what?" I said, "You want me to go?" Oh no, oh no. Hey, look, man. Look, I know I'm straight, but I don't want nobody to get any idea that I may not be. Okay, you know what I'm saying? That they may be able to convert me. All right, no conversion here, cuz. You know, I want to be in it. And look, man, I say that from a point because I actually got hit on by a gay dude years ago, back when I was in high school. And it was very awkward because I didn't realize he was gay because he didn't act gay. And then he was like, "Hey, man, I was thinking about," I was like, "Hey, no, 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 yeah, that's not me. You think about somebody else." You know what I'm saying? So, I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. Let's just say that. About, oh man, I seen Sam going to the gay bar a lot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what they be saying. Sam been going to the gay bar a lot. And I'm just like, hold on a second now. Don't put that on my name. You know, they got me out there. Them folks be talking about you at work, and before you know it, man, you got dudes hanging around you thinking that may be the way you swing. And you see, you got that testosterone stuff kick up in you, and sometimes you come off a little harsh. You like, you might start cussing a little bit and stuff like that. Like, get the fuck away from me. I ain't like that. They're like, well, you hear all the time, so you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I didn't want to get involved in that. I didn't want to want that train to start for me, and so yeah, so I decided to pass. But I see what you're saying. There's actually a couple people making videos. It's like when you act spicy so you can hang out with the hot girls. I'm just like, oh no, they be in there
I think that's been
shots
a
and
couple
stuff
movie
like that.
plots.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I said, man, this is bad, man. This is no good. Okay, I'm just letting you know this is no good. So yeah, I'm on pass. I do appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Do appreciate it, but I'm gonna let other folks handle that. Okay, I'm gonna let other folks handle that. And I mean, it's fine. I mean, if you want to go, you can go, but it's just one of those things that it didn't never appeal to me. Let's just say that. But of course, I can't say I really ever went out to bars trying to pick up a chick either. I was very serious about my craft at that time, which was getting drunk. But so I mean, I was extremely serious about that. And if something came along, then I was like, okay, but that really won't why I was out there. I was out there hanging out with friends and
Mhm.
just drinking. So I don't know if you had a similar experience when you
Well,
with your clubbing days.
we went we was in the rave clubs for fucking years from like 96 through like 2002 or 3. Like, and so it wasn't really a drinking scene. It was more of a ecstasy scene. And then when that kind of faded, so you have like your late nights, which were, God, Friday, Saturday, sometimes on Wednesdays for like 3 years. We used to go to this club called Ozone that didn't open until 3 in the morning, and it would shut down as a regular bar at 2, and then open up at 3. And
Mm-hmm.
we would get there like 3, 4 in the morning. It would party. It would rock till like 1 in the afternoon. I mean, it was the most unreal thing you ever saw. Like 100% of the people in there were fucked up on ecstasy, ketamine, whatever. What all kinds of weird sex shit going on in the bathrooms and on the couches, and like, I mean, VIP rooms. It was just wild. But then, like, they would try to bring that to the mainstream space, right? And then they would book out mainstream club nights and this and that and that, and then people would try to go to like the regular club night and eat ecstasy, and it would be like not the right scene. You know what I mean? So
Oh, okay, okay. They weren't in the right area.
right, right. So it was a very, but that era was a very, it was a very, people were seemed a lot very open, especially eating ecstasy. You know what I mean? People were very, um,
I like that they
you
were
know,
very open eating ecstasy.
yeah.
Ah, that's pretty good. They were very open. All right, you know what I'm saying? With their ecstasy usage, LSD, any of that stuff as well.
No, that's a totally different scene. That's not
Oh,
even
okay, that's a different scene.
you
Okay,
can't. It's
okay,
oil and water. You can't mix those two.
okay. So ecstasy is more of a club. Ecstasy, cocaine is more of your
Up
club
drugs,
scene,
yeah.
right?
Any of your up drugs.
Uh huh. Okay, okay. All right. Well, I guess Percocet
Nah,
technically wouldn't be.
nah. See what happened?
Who's
The
be?
problem is everyone would get strung out during the clubs, and then they go home. And then towards the end of the scene, it got real dirty. People started using heroin and started to do pills, and that wasn't prevalent at all in the beginning. And so that's when everything kind of fell apart, and like the scene itself fell apart. Like the rave scene
Mm-hmm.
really died by like fucking 98. I'd say nationwide. Right, the real fucking original, like, holy shit, this is unbelievable rave scene has been dead for fucking 30 years. Um,
Hmm.
you might be able to mimic some of that at some club experience or a warehouse experience, but I'm sure there's people out there who have a scene somewhere doing something. But like in the late 90s, it took the whole country by storm. Never at once did you have a whole scene driven by a drug. It was a very unique thing. I mean, it was almost comparable to the LSD in the 60s. That it was like a almost analogous. And then I was a
Oh,
cop.
okay,
Then I was a
okay.
cop like 2 years later.
Man said I was in it, then I was out of
Yeah.
it. So, well, that's a hell of a transition, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was almost intentionally so.
Yeah, I mean, you live many a life.
Hmm. I know. I'm like
We can
90
say
on the
that.
inside. I swear to God.
Man said I'm definitely an old man. Definitely an old man. So we're gonna get into our main topic, right here, Corey. What will America look like in 4 years? And so we're gonna discuss some of the things that has
Barefoot
been
and
happening
pregnant.
so
Is
far.
that what that old saying was? You know.
Is that what it's gonna look like?
I hope so. It'd be nice.
Um,
It'd be nice. Like
man.
I
So
feel
we.
I fucked up. I'm 50. I'm almost 50. I'm gonna be 49 in March, and of course it's not too late for me to like get married and all that stuff. But for younger generations, I really wish that I didn't fuck around. The only reason I've lived multiple lifetimes is because I didn't get married and have kids and stuff. And if I did, I
Okay.
wouldn't have been able to live the life that I've led, which has been great. But that's a major void in my life. I'll tell you that straight up. So to the younger people out there, I'd say that's most certainly like, do what I say, don't do what I do. You know what I mean? Like, get hooked up and get married in your 20s, have your family, and pursue your dreams together. That's what I got to say about that. So it's not too late for me, but it's pretty too late for me.
See, man said it ain't late, but it ain't early either. Okay, it gets late early. Let's just say that. Man said it gets late early. Uh, yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, we're moving further and further away from that. People are getting married later and later and getting divorced earlier and earlier, even though they get married later and later. So it's just like it's the direction, and we know why this is okay. And the main thing is because on the women's side with the feminism, they technically are not in any type of duress where they absolutely have to quote unquote have a man because there's a war. You got to do some type of physical manual labor to stay alive and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
So it's weird. Like,
That's
I can definitely see
changed
how
the dynamic.
feminism affected the rest of my family. Like, I have the only family I really contact anymore. I have two cousins. They're both females, and they're both. One of them's 54, never married, no kids. The other one's 40 something, no, never married, no kids, can't have kids. And so, but their attitudes are exactly that.
Hmm.
You know, their attitudes where I'd rather have the career. And my cousin's very successful. She's loaded. She got not a millionaire,
Hmm.
but she makes like 300 grand a year, doing some bullshit in an office, wearing $200 turtlenecks. Right. So, um, but I feel like at the end of the day, in hindsight, that's like a betrayal to the legacy of your ancestors. I really do.
Hmm.
I'm never going to have a child. I just see it at this point. It's too late for me to do that. And I feel as though that is an area that I wish that could have done differently. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to sacrifice any of the things that I've had or give up my life, or have someone that I trust to do that with, so.
That's the main thing. Cause you can swing and miss, and a swing and a miss like cost your ass. Okay, it costs you dearly. Okay, if you swing and miss, but it ain't $2 or $3. It's 18 years and a lot of pain and heartache. Let's just say that. And there's quite a few people who's been through that, unfortunately. And it just kind of is what it is.
But
But we're seeing some of the other things that's happening right now. That the border patrol says that uh the illegal immigration since Trump has been in has plummeted 90%.
so I am shocked at what I've been seeing and hearing in a good way. He sent a fucking it was sent out to all CIA employees, all, that they could take the buyout. I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Are you
Oh
kidding?
yeah,
This
yeah.
The CIA is on the chopping block? Are you fucking kidding me? This is unbelievable. Like, I know the CIA very well. There are there have to be people shitting fucking bricks at the CIA. I mean, and in the past, we know what they did to Kennedy when they got someone that didn't fit their agenda. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Those past attempts on Trump were stupid. Those were not CIA attempts on Trump. Give me a break. Unless the CIA is that incompetent today, in which case we don't need him anyway. But I mean, he's cutting Department of Education. He's cutting U.S.
U.S.
aid.
aid, U.S.
If
aid
I'm
is
not
is has
mistaken,
been a
Trump said
big
he.
thing.
So this has been huge, and it's a billions and billions of dollars, and that's only like 0.7% of the budget. I think he said. I thought I heard him say he wanted to cut like 30% of the budget.
Hmm.
Holy fuck! Like, the liberal
Like when they
tears are
when
gonna
they when they
flow
s-
like a
yeah when
river.
they said about when they said about they were cutting stuff, like it looks like they were legit, like straight up, dog. Like shit's getting cut, like no bullshit. Like I understand what people say, and of course we people have posted this in multiple of our chats, whether it's here, day zero, about well, Trump's not a savior. I got you. Okay, we get it. All right, nobody can save you per se, but damn it, things can look a little bit better.
But let me
You
tell
know what
you
I'm
what,
saying?
man. I'm not really worried about that three-letter agency coming after me much anymore. And I ain't really talking about the FBI or the CIA.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that other
the
one,
other the other alphabet agency.
the he who shall not be named, who wants me to pay them money every year. For some reason, the voice in the back of my head is telling me I can chill. I ain't got to worry about it. So I'm not going to be
Oh
surprised.
well,
I'm not going to be surprised if Trump comes out with like an executive order that says the IRS can't audit people who make like under 60 grand a year or something like that, which is fine because I
yeah,
don't make
well,
60 grand a year guaranteed.
well, yeah, well. Here's Levitt. Um, she was talking today about
She's
some of
only
the.
27 years old. She is only
Yeah,
27
no.
years old. This is an amazing person.
Let's see. Let's see what she got right here.
So these are the tax priorities of the Trump administration that the president has laid out for members in that meeting today. No tax on tips, which is obviously a very public campaign promise that the president made. No tax on seniors' Social Security. No tax on overtime pay. Renewing President Trump's 2017 middle class tax cuts. Again, these are the president's priorities. Adjusting the SALT cap. Eliminate all the special tax breaks for billionaire sports team owners. Close the carried interest tax deduction loophole. Tax cuts for made in America products. This will be the largest tax cut in history for middle class working Americans. The president is committed to working with Congress to get this done. So
So that's an initial start right there.
Well, plus he scrapped the 80,000 IRS agents that were hired in the process of being hired and all that stuff. All of them were in probationary periods that had been hired. They're all gone. And so what message does that send? They're not going to be digging into your shit. That's the message I got from that.
Right.
They don't have the staffing otherwise to handle anything. Like, they just don't. Just a couple of weeks ago, I watched a former IRS guy. He said, and this was as of like 3 weeks ago, he said that they only have 2,100 people who work the criminal division. There's like 6 million people who haven't paid taxes in like fucking 10 years or more. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
it's a sea of people out there. I mean, being a public person on a small scale, right? I mean, some IRS agent could see me talk shit about taxes one day and look my shit up. But other than that, I'm not really worried about it at all anymore. And now that Trump has showed what the government's been spending money on, good luck finding any jury that's going to convict anybody for not paying taxes.
And a matter of fact, I got some of the USA stuff right up here that they found. And so here we go right here. 15 million for condoms to the Taliban through USA. All right.
I thought it was 50. Oh, that's 50. Oh, that's the Taliban. It was 50 in Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm. Uh, let's see. We got 446,000 to promote the expansion of atheism in Nepal. We got 1 million to boost French-speaking LGBTQ groups in West and Central Africa through the State Department.
Okay, so as you're going through
14
this,
million.
let me some commentary so people can better interpret what this is as we read these off. Okay, so when I scroll up a little bit.
Oh.
All right, so when I see $15 million for condoms to the Taliban through USAID, what I actually see is a delivery to Afghanistan of $15 million of condoms. But guess what? Like, that's against their religion and shit. You know what I mean? So that's a disruptive agent.
It's
totally
not
meant to disrupt.
condoms. It's something else.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a possibility also. But if it was condoms, it would be to agitate. It would be a political agitation. You see what I'm saying?
That is true. That is
right.
true.
And then when you have to promote atheism in Nepal, they're all like fucking Hindus or Buddhists out there, right? So when you're promoting something contrary to the fucking main religion of the country, every single one of these is a CIA agenda masked in an aid package. That's exactly what this is. All this needs to go. Period.
Yeah.
I wonder
So
how
what
much
we got
money is
next?
going
We
into
got
gay shit. It
I
looks like a
don't know.
lot
We
of
got
money is
quite
going
a
to gay
bit up
shit.
here. There's ALG. We got 14 million in cash vouchers for migrants at the southern border through the State Department. $20,000 for a drag show in Ecuador.
You know something? Here's something I've been thinking. Like, this Trump has been legit and like doing stuff. He's like actually making moves. It seems. Are we being double, triple whammied? Possible. I don't know. At the moment,
There's a
things
possibility.
seem. Yeah, it's always a possibility. Things seem okay. The question is, if he is legit, the way I'm hearing Republicans in Congress and his press secretary talk about past criminal violations of the previous administration, these motherfuckers might be ready to go and make some arrests. I mean, they might be preparing wide-scale arrests of people who facilitated these programs at NGOs, at the former administration, even Congress. I mean, Ilhan Omar, she got up and did a speech the other day and said that her president was the president of Somalia, right? That bitch should go to a jail cell for treason. Like, I'm not fucking around. Immediately. In the 1950s, how do you think McCarthy would have handled someone like that?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You know? If you were a communist, your life was fucking ruined. If they even smelled a hint of communism, your life was fucking ruined. That's what needs to happen today. They even smell you're fucking not 100% loyal to this country alone, and you're fucking toast. Period. Here's the thing. I've always considered myself a patriot, but the government has been dog shit. I love the traditions and history of our country and the Constitution and all that stuff, but I've never felt like we've ever had the right or the ability to express that really on a large scale like Trump is allowing everyone to do. I think the surge in patriotism we're going to see is going to be equivalent to like 1941. You know what I'm saying? Like, go back to the 40s and look at what they did. Nobody wanted to go back to war. Nobody. 95% of the population, when polled, did not want to go back and get involved in World War II. They got a bunch of propagandists and they fucking put out some movies. And next thing you know, 95% of America wanted to go to war. Okay. So I think we're going to see something like that, but less engineered and far more natural. So, like, Trump just announced they had the biggest military recruitment month ever the other day. He announced it the other day.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, interesting.
All right. So we got 47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia.
Well, which opera was it? Was it like Rigoletto? I mean, it depends on what opera it is. What country? What country was it? You got opera singers
that was in
third world
Colombia.
Country? You got Colombian opera singers?
Yes.
Hold on.
I mean, that's what I'm
Hold on a
saying.
second. I want to see. See, here's the problem. I mean, if I want to, before this came out, I could probably Google transgender opera in fucking whatever country it was. But now all that's going to come up is the news. So it's not even worth it.
Right. 32,000 for an LGBTQ centered comic book in Peru. Okay. That's a good one.
Peru's a country you never hear about. There can't be a lot of bad shit going on there. You don't ever hear about Peru.
Yeah, I know. That's why they didn't spend that much money for it. $55,000 for a climate change presentation warning about the impact of climate change in Argentina, to be led by female and LGBT journalists through the State Department.
That's wild.
Hey, that's your favorite thing, Corey, climate change.
It is the absolute proof that people are stupid. Like all of us, the whole of society.
Listen, there is the proof.
Like, you can go and debunk it in about 30 seconds, and people choose not to. It's just really unbelievable.
Let's see. We've got over $3 million for being LGBTQ in the Caribbean.
I don't like
this.
They're slurring these people because they're not using the correct thingamajigger. It's LGBTQIA+. Hello.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, they got to do better. We got $7 million for a BIPOC speaker in Canada. Okay, so that's pretty good. We got $80,000 for an LGBTQ community center in Bratislava, Slovakia. Okay, so I'm pretty sure they need a community center. Got a $3.2 million to help Tanzanian migrants readjust to life in Tanzania after deportation. Okay, so after they get deported, we're trying to help them, reintegrate, readjust. Okay, they didn't spend this much on this other one. 16,000 to foster a united and equal queer feminist discourse in Albanian society. They didn't spend that much on that one, so they didn't really care about that one. Another one, 10,000 to pressure Lithuania corporations to promote DEI values.
Don't the Irish hate all these goddamn immigrants? They do. The Irish hate these immigrants.
Maybe.
There are armed Irish gangs going around whooping their ass with fucking pipes and shit. So for us to create a U.S. Irish musical to promote DEI, okay, motherfucker, Ireland is one of the few only white countries. Okay, let them have their shit.
Man said, let the white folk have
People
his shit.
forget the world ain't a melting pot. That's only in America. They're trying to force that melting pot shit on the rest of the world, and that shit ain't flying nowhere.
Right. What else we got up here? 8,000 to promote DEI among LGBTQ groups in Cyprus. Got 1.5 million to promote job opportunities for LGBTQ individuals in Serbia. 70,000 to create U.S. Irish musical to promote DEI in Ireland. Got 39,000 to host seminars at the Edinburgh International Book Festival on gender identity and racial equality. 2.5 million to build electric vehicle charging station in Vietnam's largest cities. Man, they couldn't build none here. I mean, they couldn't even build none here. They're gonna build them for Vietnam.
Oh, but no. They spent like $1 billion here.
Yeah, they built 6.
I am
Yeah,
not going to
they
be
built like
satisfied
none.
unless we have public executions of these fucking people. This is the
Oh,
absolute
damn.
worst treason I've ever fucking seen. This is a complete
Man
looting
said,
This is a Jewish looting operation. Is really what this is. They've been stripping the government since '71 when they went off. See, going off the gold standard. This is why you need to have a backed currency if you're going to have a currency at all. You know. But then people will argue Bitcoin's not backed, and I'll be like, bullshit, it's not. It's backed by the integrity of the network, the most secure network that's ever been created. You know, so when it comes to, I just totally lost track of what I'm talking about. But this is fucked
you
up.
were
This is
talking
treason.
about
This is,
currency. You were
yeah.
talking about currency.
The very notion that this is even real is hard to. The fact that anybody's like fighting them is even crazy. I'm trying to like process this as I'm speaking here. This is just truly unbelievable. And what's even more unbelievable is the courts today, I guess, just stopped Doge from being able to access systems or something, which is obviously going to get appealed to the Supreme Court. The question is, what's the Supreme Court going to do? You know, I am completely
Yeah, I
fine
think it
with.
was the Treasury. I think that's what it was.
So here's the thing: like Trump can't just. Well, people are a little confused, and I'm a little confused over U.S. aid in particular. What's done is done, and it ain't coming back. That's a guarantee. Those where the money is flowing to and from might stay in place, which is a whole nother issue. But it doesn't seem as though Trump really had a final plan when he got this thing started. He started to gut this thing, and move it over to the State Department, but it still seems to be kind of up in the air. And with the courts saying that Elon Musk now doesn't have access and it has to get appealed to the Supreme Court, what happens if Trump just says, "Go fuck yourself"? I mean, what happens then? The Democrats are crying constitutional crisis. I'm like, this is bullshit. I think what really has to happen to show the rest of the world what these programs are is he's got to out the CIA on all of it. I mean, there's no way around it. In order to get people to understand why you're cutting these programs, you have to explain to people that these programs were intelligence operations. They were not organic aid operations, and they're used as a tool to overthrow governments, right? So I don't see how he can ever think that he could sell his gutting of all these programs without outing the CIA at the same time, you know?
This is true. This is true. But yeah, so that's just a few of the items that they found that they start to cut back on.
But there are other agencies that are bigger than USAID, I think. The problem is they go through so many intermediaries. Like the CIA layers all this stuff, you know?
Right.
The kicker was it fucking with the ugly Clinton chick got like $84 million. Chelsea Clinton got 84 million. What kind of scam is that? Like the Clintons you think he'll put the Clintons in jail this time? Are we on any statute of limitation issues? I don't.
No. Not gonna be able to do that. Is not.
Why?
Cannot.
Why?
Won't happen. It just won't, man.
Here's the thing.
I mean,
Trump is an old man. He is probably only got a couple years beyond when he gets out of office. He can do whatever the hell he wants, and he has no real repercussion because he's not going to be. He's got nothing to lose, is what I'm saying. He has absolutely not a goddamn thing to lose by just going out there and fucking playing Hatchet Man. He could do it. He gave the whole CIA a buyout offer. That's like, think about that. What the fuck would Alan
Yeah.
Dulles? What would Alan Dulles say to that? He'd be prepping JFK too, is what he'd be doing.
He'd be prepping right now.
Mm-hmm.
Man, so we come into prep. Well, look, I mean, so this harkens back to what we were saying. What do you expect America to look like in 4 years with what we've seen come down the rabbit
I don't
hole
have
so
a
far?
goddamn clue, man. I don't know. I really don't even have an answer to you at all. Every single day is a brand new reality. So who the fuck knows what's happening? I mean, literally, this is the first time since COVID that I'm really glued to watching the news, and like I'm absorbing every time Trump opens his mouth. I'm watching it. Like I've never felt the need to like. I've never hung on people's words before, ever, especially in politics. But man, when Trump says shit, and like every day it's new executive orders, and I'm like, oh, it's Christmas again. What's happening? What's happening today? It's been fucking unbelievable. So all the people who are like, he's
Mhm.
double, triple whammying us, and this is just a new deep state. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell those people.
Well, could it be? Well, I'm convinced that regardless of what he does, the majority of people in the conspiracy community won't view any of it as a win.
True. Very true.
Like,
Here's another
like,
possibility.
mhm,
I've already established many times that I don't trust Tulsi Gabbard. She worked at Psychological Operations Command, the 315th
mhm.
Army Group, where Michael Aquino used to work. I don't trust her at all. Now, the CIA has caused a lot of fucking problems over a long period of time. And prior to that, it was always naval intelligence and army intelligence that handled intelligence for America. Putting Tulsi in there might be a way of wrestling intelligence back away from the CIA and returning it to army intelligence or some sort of military intelligence apparatus. So,
Okay, okay.
because it's
So you can
obvious the
see, so
CIA,
you potential see that angle.
it's definitely a potential angle for sure. I don't see NCIS getting buyouts. Do you?
This is true. This is true.
And
Yeah.
NCIS
So,
is naval intelligence, whatever the fuck people want to call it. They changed the name, but it's still intelligence. Period. It just
right,
encompassed
right,
it, and then they put a TV show that makes it look like CSI, so you don't even think that those guys are pulling psyops on you. You know?
right, right. So I mean, we're already starting to see stuff. Things are moving kind of away from the woke. We've shown some of it today with Carl's Jr. going back to having booty cheeks up there in their ads. We see that he already signed the executive order about the boys and women's sports about not being able to
Is that binding? Like,
transition minors.
is that all binding without a law from Congress? I mean, I don't know how that works. So
I see. I don't know.
see, for every
Uh,
executive order, he needs to be having people in the background writing law to codify it. I mean, that's really what should be every executive order should have a
right.
coinciding law to go with it.
Right, right. And the one with was it the not being able to transition minors?
Right.
Um that's a big one. So we the next 4 years ago moving away from woke. It seems that um a lot of people who represent the extreme left are still trying to push some things out there to the forefront. Of course, we've seen with a lot of these companies scrapping their DEI. You've got Al Sharpton and the boys out there doing
That
their
guy's still
protests
alive.
and things of that nature. Yeah. We've got, with the deportations, we do have some of the mayors and some of the governors saying, over my dead body, for my cold dead hands. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure why. I mean, but some of them are saying that, and so it seems things are moving right along, and some of them just strictly by force. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, no, I don't think you get it. Like this shit's gonna happen. Okay, I mean, I'm just letting you know, like that the shit's happening. All right, so you either get on board or get ran the fuck over. Okay, that's what it seems like this approach is right now. What do you think?
Yes, I'm shocked that all of his cabinet picks are getting through. I hope Kash Patel gets through. They delayed his confirmation by a week. So that's all shocking. That means these people are getting votes from people who normally wouldn't vote in the direction of Trump. That's the only thing. That's the only reason that these people are passing, because they're passing committee votes, not general votes. They'll pass all the general votes, of course, but the committee votes are the tough ones. So I wonder how many of these politicians who are bought are cheering on the inside but can't say anything. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Right.
Imagine if they could
There's a lot.
literally, if he could cut taxes. Imagine if everyone just paid like 10% of their taxes. Just you had to pay 10%. That's a lot. It's still a lot of money. I mean, I'd still end up paying a couple grand a year, but that's much more palatable. And if we're getting results, I'd actually, depending on how this year goes, I might file this year, and I ain't filed in like 8 years. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Probably not, but I'm talking about it.
Right. They said considering it. They said it's a consideration. Yeah. So yeah, things could look radically different in 4 years. I mean, we talking about all these potential tax cuts. You're talking about even the potential if things could get moved in the right direction with potential tariffs or things of that nature to maybe uh take away the IRS. We
I'm no
talking about
longer
Department
afraid
of
that in 4 years,
Education.
I'm no longer afraid that in 4 years all restaurants will be Taco Bell.
Yeah, we talking about Department of Education looking like it's getting scrapped, and now all that stuff going back to the states. Um, there's a lot of movement here.
So the idea
We're
really
talking about
is,
potential explosion in crypto,
mhm,
depending on whether they adopt some of Bitcoin or
mhm.
XRP or whatever. So we're talking about that potential landscape there. Um, things could be radically different. Some people are talking about the technocracy. Okay,
So do you really think that as we move into the future, the natural evolution would not be towards a technocracy?
it would have to be.
Have to be. It's inevitable. So I don't
Yeah,
know what the
yeah.
fuck these people are talking about.
There's no other way to go.
Mhm.
You will assimilate with the Borg. I mean, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, as we go along, I mean and as things become more digital. I mean, we see this now. I mean, more and more people are tapped into this right here. Everybody you see is like this about the whole day, right there in their phone. Like, this is people's lives. This device right here, that's people's whole lives. So people are more apt to tap into whatever technocracy because they're just getting used to this. I mean, we're talking about 6-year-old kids that got cell phones. A 6-year-old kid with a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Whereas when we're younger, I mean, but you run off, you ain't even have a phone. You have to go to somebody's house and use a landline. But your 6-year-old kids got this, and they know how to work it. They can watch whatever they want to watch, do whatever. So yeah, as we move along, people are going to be more and more tapped into digital things, and so the technocracy is. I mean, it's as you said, it's kind of inevitable. So as opposed to other folks talking about the oligarchy, which has always been the case. But there's still some people who are hating on Elon. They ain't feeling Elon, you know, and the work he's doing right now with Doge as far as cutting things. So there's a lot of people that were crying the blues on the US aid stuff. So I don't know. Some things are happening. I think some good things are happening.
So
Okay. Obviously,
um,
obviously, we got some things that may not be as great. The Gaza thing. I mean, so,
there's a lawyer guy who I watch his show on YouTube, Robert Gouvier, I believe his name is,
mhm.
and he had a great, he was talking about how, if you take a shot at the king, you better not fucking miss, and they fucking missed, and 1, 2, Trump is coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door.
Whose was that? Was that Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, it's Freddy Krueger. But
That's what I thought.
Trump ain't got nothing to lose, and he's pissed. And that motherfucker has already shown in just a week or two what he's capable of. And God damn it, he needs to lock up like I want to see like 300 people from the last administration go to fucking prison or the death penalty for treason. Mayorkas needs to go to prison. You know they got a target on Mayorkas's back, 100%, fucking 100%.
Oh, Mayorkas.
That fucking
Yeah.
guy. He was the guy
Yeah, well,
responsible.
look,
He was the architect of the flying these cocksuckers into our country. 300,000 people.
hey, well, look, Biden already pardoned some of the key folks anyway. So,
Honestly,
preemptive pardon.
I would ignore it like it didn't happen and let him fight it in court. I would arrest the fuck out of those people and just let them fight it in court because here's the thing: I saw this talked about the other day that the only other time in history we've ever had preemptive pardons was Nixon. It's the only preemptive pardon, but yet at the time there were clear, articulable crimes that were inevitably going to come down the pike. Okay, he could pardon him preemptively on that. I get that. It was not challenged in court. We don't know how that would have turned out if someone did challenge it. But this, we're talking about people who have not been formally accused of crimes, that we don't know of any crimes they've committed. There's a solid case for a legal challenge, at least at the Supreme. This would go to the Supreme Court, of course. And I think the Supreme Court. I mean, they're sticklers for the Constitution, but they're fucking diehard conservatives too. So it's really iffy on how it would go. But I think there's a possibility they can get those pardons chucked because there's no precedent for what Biden just did, and Nixon is not a precedent because he had clear articulable crimes. That's not the case this time. So I'm positive Trump has people looking into this as we speak.
Okay. Yeah, guys. So leave y'all thoughts in the comment section. What y'all think America look like in 4 years? Think it'll be better? Think it'll be worse? Hopefully eggs will come back down in price after we get
I
our
just spent
chicken
$9
population
on a
back up.
dozen the other day for the first time in my life. I think the most I used to not buy the organic eggs for $5 because I could get the regular eggs for $2. And now I paid $9 for the shit eggs. Whatever. Fuck these people. Bird flu, but yet it's not killing pelicans or seagulls or pigeons or any other thing except livestock.
That's a different kind of bird, man.
Oh, suck a dick.
That's a different kind of bird, man. So, Corey, I mean, we know it's not the same bird, so they don't get affected by the same thing. It's called bird flu, but it's not really like bird related. You know what I'm saying? It's more bird adjacent flu. You know what I'm saying? It's the chicken flu is what they should call it. Like the chickens that lay your egg flu. That's what they should call it. Not quite the bird flu. So yeah, let us know your thoughts on what things gonna look like. Even if you think things are gonna look bad, you know what I'm saying? Leave the thoughts there, okay? But so far, you know, I think that he's actually doing way more than what he would have done if he'd have won in 2020.
That has been the commentary. I saw a whole show the other day where they talked about that at length, and the perception was that Trump had to go through what he went through in order to be the person he is now and to get the results that we're getting now. If he'd have gone from one administration right to the next, it might not have worked out in his favor. He would not have been America first like he is today. There's a lot of things. He was a swamp creature last time. Not that he isn't this time, but he's doing better. He's doing better. So here's I'm telling you, here's the key. And this is the reason why I give him some credit in the first place. Once it's fully staffed, we got to see how many Jews are in the administration. That is the key. His last time he only had 15, which was quite a break from the 50 or 60 that every other administration had for the last 30 years. So that told me a lot. The number of Jews in the administration is going to tell you everything about how things are going to go over the next 4 years.
Okay. Man said that's how we're going to determine it. How many Jews? All right. So, we're going to keep. Corey, I'm gonna let you do the honorary Jew counter. Okay. We'll let you do the honorary. You know what I'm saying?
No, I have
we'll
no
let
idea
you
what you're
keep
fucking
tabs
talking
of
about.
that. Yeah, the Jew counter. All right. Yeah. Corey's like, we are now up to 5 Jews in the administration. Yeah, so guys, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. We appreciate everybody being out with us tonight. You listen to us on podcast platforms. Hit the follow button there. I don't know why you haven't yet. Make sure that you are supporting Corey Hughes, coreyhughes.org. Website will be back up and running soon. Okay.
You can go there and there's links to my stuff, but we're rebuilding the site as we speak.
It's
And it's my
rebuilding.
fault it's
Okay.
not done because I should have gotten Tony my images days ago and I haven't, and so it's on me that it's not done. But it's gonna be done soon. But you can go there and it's got links and whatever the fuck. Everybody knows where my shit is anyway. So
Yeah, bloodyhistory.substack.com. Go and subscribe to that. All
yeah, I
right.
got new
Get all your
shirts. I got my
history.
new PDF that's out. My
Hmm.
433 page double Oswald Shiznit is out. You get that for $20. It's on my buy me a coffee. So I got a lot of new stuff. I got audio book dropping in about 2 weeks. I got another print book, which is going to be all documents. It's going to be a big, like 8.5 by 11 document book. It's going to be about 200 pages of
Hmm.
documents from the first book. And then after that, I'm doing a documentary, which will be on Tubi. We already have the contracts with Tubi and all that stuff. And what else am I got? Oh, and then I'm going to start my next book. So I'm going to have a busy fucking year. And then I'm moving back to Vegas at the end of the year. So I'm going to have a really busy fucking year.
There it is. Corey gonna be back. Is Vegas Sin City?
Yes, it is. I need a little sin.
Oh, be back in Sin
It's been a
City.
drought for a couple years. So,
He's gonna go get sinful for a little bit at that high rise apartment that we looked at.
oh, and I talked to Jake Shields today.
Hmm.
He's going to get me a date to come out to Vegas in the next month or two to go do his show in person out there. So
Oh, okay,
that's
okay.
going to be
Oh,
happening also. That I think
that's
is going to
great. That's
be
great.
that's going to be bigger than Myron and the Fresh and Fit guys. The Fresh and Fit guys, they target a little bit more of an urban audience, and Jake Shields targets a little bit more of a, you know, appreciate Hitler audience.
Conspiracy. Yeah, conspiracy audience. Yeah,
Yeah,
per
conspiracy
se. So
audience.
yeah. Make sure you're supporting Corey on all that stuff. Get his book, Warner from History, still available on Amazon. Okay, so go pick that up if you haven't picked it up yet. Send it out as a birthday present, Valentine's Day present. You know, Valentine's Day is coming up, so I mean, what better can you do for the one you love to give them a book giving you the JFK breakdown? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So you can write a special note in it and all. So, uh, you know me, XQ420, XQ420.com. That's where you can find everything that I do. And yeah, we're here Thursdays, Beyond the Cube, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So, from your boy XQ420, the powerful one, Corey Hughes. We'll catch y'all next week on Beyond the Cube. Peace out. Bam.
All right.